Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's talk books. Today we're gonna talk about new releases coming out in September that I really want to read. September is a very big book release month in the community, therefore there are more than 200 books. And I went through all of them on Goodreads to find the ones I really want to read. I made a selection of 8 books that I'm gonna talk about today. So grab your drink, get cozy, and let's do this. So, the first book I want to talk about is a book releasing on September 1st, and I felt like it would be a nice way to introduce these type of videos because it's the first time I'm making this video. And as a firstborn daughter, it really resonate with me because Firstborn by MJ Hastings is about a girl who was born first. Now, in this world, it's a dystopian world pitched as Hunger Games meets Fort Wing, but in this dystopian world, who you are is this designated to you by your order of birth, which means that the firstborns they fight, they go into the army, they protect the kingdom. The secondborn they go to schools, they learn, they probably get into politics at some point. The thirdborns, well, they get taken. That's all I could figure out. Um, and our main character is a female. She notices something, and she has to figure out if it's real or just to get her off her game. She needs one more night. If she succeeds, she can graduate and she goes into the army to protect the country. But if she doesn't, she'll face exile. She needs to figure out what she needs to do. She has to choose. Will she choose herself or will she choose her family? Also, the cover is really pretty. I really wanna read this book. The second book I chose also comes out September 1st. It's Kiss Slay Replay by Rachel Harrison, who also wrote Play Nice. Now, I have never read a book by Rachel Harrison, but I know that a lot of people are going crazy because Play Nice is such a good book. So I'm really intrigued by Kiss Slay Replay, not just because people are talking, but because this concept kind of reminded me of Happy Death Day. You know, I watched that movie on Twitch with a couple of subscribers a while back. But in Kiss Slay Replay, it's also the time loop thing where she gets murdered and then wakes up again in the morning of that day. There's a wedding, there's a masked killer. She has to figure out who keeps killing her. She has to figure out how to stop it and how to stay alive herself so she can just not be an eternal wedding guest. You know what I mean? So I thought that would be really interesting to read. I'm very curious about how it is. Apparently, Rachel Harrison is also very known to put a lot of comedy and soft horror elements into her stories. The last book coming out on September 1st is The Gods Will Sing Our Song by Autumn, I think you say Krause. Now, The Gods Will Sing Our Song is about two Japanese American kids, well, teenagers, and they live in America during World War II. Japan and America weren't really allies during that time, so they get like exiled, kind of like they come together because of that. They also both have a key that holds the magic to revive an old god. It really, when I read it, it reminded me of Divine Rivals, which is one of my favorite books of all time. So I really want to read it. So if you know anything about me or you've watched my previous video, you know that this is exactly the type of book that I like to read. Therefore, it is on this list, and I really want to read it. Then the fourth book coming out, I think September 15th, is Grim Tidings. B.K. Borison is a well-known author. They have written a lot of romance stories that are already very known of within the bookish community. I'm talking about First Scholar. I'm talking about Good Spirits, which is actually the first book in this interconnected standalone series, because Grim Tidings is the second book of the series, Ghosted. Grim Tidings follows a Grim Reaper who is tired of being painted as the villain. She's tired of death. Therefore, she decides the next soul, I will not guide to the underworld, instead I will save that soul. But Gabriel, which is an angel, doesn't really like it when things don't go the way they're supposed to go. And they're enemies, but start slowly falling for each other. So if there's any B.K. Borson book that I need to read, it's a Slow Burn Enemies to Lovers, Grim Tidings. I have also Good Spirits on my TBR list. However, I feel like that's more of a holiday story, one that I'm reading closer to Christmas. They're interconnected, but they're standalone, so I can read them in whatever order I want to read them. Then we have a book that my Instagram is filled with. Like, honestly, filled. I open Instagram and the first thing I see is a post about this book. It's The Emperor's Enemy by Jasmine Mas. Jasmine Mas has also written Bonds of Hercules, Blood of Hercules, and Battle of Hercules, which is coming out soon. Now, I don't really remember the synopsis of this story, but it was something about a girl who is badass, who never really needed saving, and she doesn't really like the emperor. Well, the leader of the country. But she has to work with a royal magician, someone with magic, and the longer they work together, the more they fall in love. Then there is Bodies of Magic by Freya Morsky. I don't really know how you say that. Which is about, I think, a group of 5, and they have studied at this academia for 5 years. And they're down in their final trial. So if they succeed, they graduate. They need to do, it's a trial of 5 days, but during that trial, I mean, on the first day, they find a body of their classmate who was supposed to be on top if she would have lived. And now they have to figure out, on top of their trials, who has done it and why, while hiding their own secrets, because all 5 of them are hiding secrets, as it goes in these type of stories. A more commonly known author in the romance community, Lynn Painter, with Trustfall. I have never read a Lynn Painter book, but I'm also not a romance girly. I'm trying to get into, like, to broaden my genres that I read, so I'm trying to get into romance. I am currently halfway through Happy Place from Emily Henry, which I also only picked up because I wanted to know what the Emily Henry hype was about, so I went to the library and I picked up a Emily Henry book. But Trustfall seems like a very fun, cozy fall read, and so I just put it on this list. Oh well. Then the last one, we have Galinda, A Charmed Childhood from Gregory Maguire. It's part of the Wicked series, whereas you also have Elfie, which is a sister novella. Galinda is also just a novella. It's about the childhood of Glinda, the Good Witch. We get to figure out who she was and why she became who she is. That is my list, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can always like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below which of the September releases you are most excited to read. Even if it's not on my list, let me know what your list is, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!